Hi, good afternoon. My name is Peter Ajakaiye. I'm the plant director, or what you call manufacturing director for Cadbury Nigeria. And I'm happy to sit today with my mentee, Temi Pikuda.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Temi Pikuda and I am the mentee for Clorets Mentorship Program under the manufacturing division. So, first on my head of manufacturing, I just thought that manufacturing was like a very small aspect. I didn't know that it was intertwined. I had a very vague imagination of what manufacturing is. But during mentorship, I was able to understand that manufacturing is actually part of supply chain. I always thought supply chain was about maybe deliveries and other stuff. But now I understand that manufacturing is under supply chain. And I just want to ask, COVID-19 hit the world, and one of the major industries that it hit was the supply chain industry because a great disruption in supply chain, especially food supply chain, and Cadbury is an FMCG company. So how do you think supply chain can be used to solve the problem that COVID-19 has created with respect to food?
Okay, so I'll start from the broad, then narrow it down to the to your question.
Okay.
So basically, supply chain. If you see today, we have a group of people or a group of countries having all the vaccines and even more than enough vaccines,
Yeah.
and people in this part of the world, even those that choose to get vaccinated, do not have access to vaccines. And that's where supply chain comes in, from the manufacture of the vaccines to the supply and distribution of the vaccines. So that's how supply chain can actually help the broader world in coming out of this pandemic. Now, coming to the food industry, basically, as long as people are alive, everybody needs to eat something. It's part of the, if you look at the characteristics of living things that we learned about, one of the things you learned about is nutrition. And food is a big element of nutrition. So as long as people are alive, there's always the need to feed. What needs to happen is actually, for supply chain, how do we help now is the response to the disruptions that we would see, not just in terms of COVID, because I believe as a person and as the world is going, this is not going to be the last pandemic. There'll be multiple pandemics, and also with the change in the climatic conditions, there'll be more disruptions to activities. We can help as supply chain practitioners or people working in supply chain to be ahead with innovation. So with innovation, how do we innovate to ensure that the supply chain is kept fluid, responding to what I would call in this sense external stimuli, which is civil unrest, pandemics, climate changes or climatic changes, as the case might be, to ensure that people actually, consumers that we serve, actually get whatever their supplies, be it food or other necessities, on time, at the right price, because again, there's a factor of price, there's a factor of time, there's also a factor of place. So that's what we constantly doing every day to innovate in terms of what do the people need, what do they need at this point, and try to marry this innovation at what we call a low cost to deliver the value to the consumers.
Okay, yes. So with respect to innovation, let's talk about innovation. And we are in the fourth industrial revolution, which is characterized by tech, artificial intelligence, and data. So I've heard of, because I know that supply chain and manufacturing, we deal with a lot of data. We use a lot of data to determine our lead time, demand time, and to plan supply, plan manufacturing, plan production. So what other tech skills do you think that manufacturing professionals and supply chain professionals can arm themselves with so they can be relevant in the future of manufacturing?
As you know, there's something called data analytics.
Yeah.
So data analytics is quite big, and like you just alluded to, the more data you have and the more you are in tune with the data that you have, the more or the faster you are able to respond. Yeah. So data analytics is going to be something big. Also, what is going to be big in this revolution for manufacturing will be a lot of artificial intelligence. I've heard about Internet of Things, and the Internet of Things is actually doing a wide range of things for a lot of people. It's going to come into the manufacturing space, and it's going to really help. So if you just in a nutshell, data analytics off the top of my head, artificial intelligence, people should now a lot of focus on artificial intelligence would help to are skills that will be likened to life skills in the manufacturing or supply chain industry in the coming period. And when I mean the coming period, I'm not looking at 10 years out, I'm looking like yesterday basically. So the more people that we have with skills in data analytics or artificial intelligence, the better our response time and our agility, as we say, would be.
Okay, so I would like to ask, in the industry, or basically almost all industries, there are various certifications, and then we see, especially people in my generation, rush to get certifications. I wanted to emphasize the importance of experience over certifications.
Experience, what is experience? Experience is something you've passed through to get learnings or to garner learnings. What is certification? Certification is basically you trying to bridge the gap between learning and experience using textbooks and what have you. But one thing that I think experience does for you, it's real. It can't be taken away from you. With certification, sometimes people get certified and they don't know how to navigate things when they are confronted with real life issues. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to experience, it's something you've gone through that level. So it's not something. It's when you are faced with such a situation in future or later in life, all you need to do is to draw from that experience. What did we do when this happened? How did we overcome it? And then you just apply it, basically. So it's just about, you don't need to reinvent anything, just apply what you've learned. So I think that for people, both certification and experience have their place.
Okay.
So I wouldn't try to balance it now. I wouldn't tell you just have experience, forget about certification, because again, certification, like I said, is like trying to bridge the gap. So some people have actually tested, they've come with series of theories and hypotheses, they've experimented it, and they've come up with like a methodology. That's what certification gives you. There's a methodology. But with experience, so that it has its place and it's quite good. With experience is you passing through, so both of them are good. But again, one needs to just know which is necessary per time. Yeah. So when you're starting off, I think experience, if you have the opportunity, not everybody also have the opportunity to get experience. We understand that a lot of people are unemployed, or a lot of more people are underemployed, which means that they're in employment, but they are probably not learning anything from in the employment. So not everybody has the opportunity to get employed in a place where they will learn. So if you have the opportunity to get certification, you have the resources, it's also quite good. So both of them are needed. You just need to understand when and how you need to get one after the other or one before the other. So if you have the opportunity to get experience, I would say go for experience. Before I did my MBA, after my first degree, I actually had about 10 years of work experience. Then I went for my MBA, then I did an MSc because of my passion to want to teach at some point. So both are necessary at the end of the day.
Okay, so finally, I was opportunity to be part of the Clorets Mentorship Program, but not many young people are. So I wanted to tell us how or what are the ways we can get a mentor, and how can we get the best out of that mentor.
So like I tell people, everybody thinks when you talk of mentoring, it has to be like a conversation like this, that you're sitting with the next person. I have a lot of mentors, by the way. I've got mentorship or mentoring from books. So I read at least 1-2 books a month now. It's been difficult I used to read maybe 4 books a month in the past. So I get a lot of mentoring from books. So I have a lot of mentors that I've not met. Jim Collins, I will call him a mentor because I've learned a lot from his books. Stephen Covey is a mentor because I read a lot of his books. So mentoring could be via books. Mentoring could be via so again, before you set out to choose a mentor, you need to tell yourself, what do I want to learn from this person? What do I want to get from this person? So when you are clear in your head or what you want to get from this person, then you set out to. So it's about identifying the need, identifying what you want to learn, and see those who've gone through or who you think can give you those things you need. So for a lot of young people, you might not be able to get mentors where you meet physically, but you can get mentoring or mentorship from books. You can also, if you have the opportunity like Clorets did for someone like you, apply and be positive. And for you to get the best out of your mentors, you need to be like a sponge. I always tell a lot of people, mentoring is like a pool relationship. Mentoring is not coaching. Coaching is a push relationship. Somebody's trying to push you. Mentoring is a pull relationship whereby you pull as much as you can from the person that is mentoring you or from your mentor. So to get that, you need to be like a sponge. You know what a sponge does? A sponge soaks. So you need to learn as much as you can and get as much as you can from the person. So it's about your openness. And when you are pulling, you give the energy to your mentor, and the mentor wants to, like, during our time conversations, you were always pulling. And you know how busy my schedule. Sometimes you have it 6 p.m. talking for 1 hour when I'm driving home because you were receptive and you were pulling. If you had been, it is what it is, I could just say I'm also very busy, and then I hope you were able to get as much as you desired when you set out for the mentoring program.
Yes. So one word of advice for me as the mentorship program is over.
Be hungry. Keep being hungry. Hungry for knowledge, hungry for hunger breeds passion. Whatever you're hungry about, you're passionate about it, you pursue it, and you get the best out of it. So I'll tell you, keep being hungry. Continue to be receptive to learning. Keep learning, unlearning, and relearning, and you'll be the best you can ever be.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome, and it's my pleasure doing the 3 months with you. I wouldn't have wished for a better mentee. Thank you very much for making it easy for me.
I wouldn't have wished for a better mentor too. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.